So there's tons of really amazing legendary and ultimate weapons that you can get your hands on in Biomutant, and as a matter of fact, many of them can be found fairly early on in the game, even before level 20. And in this video I want to cover just a handful of these that I found to be extremely useful early on, but I'm still using a number of them way into the late game, way over level 40, and some of them even in New Game Plus. And you're also going to do it in style if you get these, because these are also some of the best looking models in the game. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Coming right up, let's get started with this absolutely amazing 7-star ultimate beast of a rifle called the Sparkatron. It's not just one of the best weapons early on, it's one of the best weapons in the game entirely. So this is something that will be amazing for a Deadeye, since you can double its damage with one of the high-end perks in your Deadeye skill tree. So here is how you get this. If you follow the main campaign and defeat the first World Eater, eventually you will reach this location right here in the Dead Zone, where you will encounter a new NPC called Moog. Completing one of the first quests for Moog and coming back to the character will give you the possibility to start a side quest chain for this character that deals with monster hunting. So the first monster is going to be located right here on this side of the map, and just go there and travel to it. You will have to defeat this, of course. It's going to be slightly more difficult than anything else you've encountered up until this point, but it's not impossible. Once you defeat the boss, you're going to get a key from its body, and with that key you can follow up the quest marker all the way up to a nearby bunker. And if you open it up, inside of it you will notice that there's the Sparkatron right there in the middle, as well as a bunch of other loot chests all around the room. But this one is the most important. As I've said, it's an amazing tool on a Deadeye, but it can work with literally any other class because it is so high damage. It does have a minimum level requirement of 18 and a minimum agility of 50, but that should not be too difficult to get by that level, and it's gonna benefit you a lot to have this amount of damage. On top of the fact that you get the electric shock from the shots, you also get momentum, so each bullet increases your fire rate by 10%, which makes it amazing for a Deadeye when you will be able to increase your magazine size and whatnot. Now, also from the same NPC, once you finish with this quest, go back to Moog again, because from this point on he will eventually open up a full quest chain of monster hunts that will bring you throughout the entirety of the world of Biomutant and also give you some of the best rewards in the game. The next quest in the chain for Moog is going to bring you right here on this side of the map. Now, unfortunately, this is going to be a cold zone, so you will need a cold hazard suit. In case you don't have that, which you should by this time because I already covered this in one of the previous videos yesterday, you can use regular old gear that might have some frost resistance on it. So pay attention to these gear pieces, as they might provide a little bit of that, but it might not be 100% like that hazard suit I was talking about. So if you have that, you can go in this area right here where you will encounter this particular mob, and it's actually not that difficult. I was using the previous weapon against this and it got one-shotted, pretty much like that. That's how strong it was. And if you kill it, again, it's gonna give you a key. You can use it on the nearby bunker, and inside of it is where you will get this really amazing one-handed axe. This is so good that it literally made me switch to a dual-wielding Deadeye character all the way up to level 45 right now. It's so freaking amazing. It's mostly because it has high damage, it comes with the Incinerate perk on it, but it also comes with Remedy, which is one of the best passive perks in the game for weapons. Kills with this will heal you for double the damage that you inflicted upon enemies, which is crazy because you will deal hundreds if not thousands of damage and then deal like double healing of that. Now, moving on to number 3, once you have finished with these two quests, return back to Moog one more time in the Dead Zone, because this means you have finished the main quest for him. It's going to open up the rest of the monster hunts for you, but most important at this stage is that it will give you access to that case right there in the backside of his tent. You likely noticed this the first time you encountered this character, that there is a special type of armor inside of it. Well, these are the prosthetic arms and legs that are actually ultimate gear pieces that you can immediately go ahead and equip on your character. character. They're only about 1.5 stars to 2 stars, but they come in with 2 and 4 add-in slots. They're also really awesome to have. They look something like this, by the way, so it's a really nice addition, especially that early on in the game, and you can even upgrade them if you want to make them even stronger. But this brings us to the number 4 one on the list, which is going to be this pair of really amazing blazing guns. And yes, this is going to be amazing for anything that uses melee combat, so even a Sci Freak can make use of this, since you already start a Sci Freak with a glove type of weapon. Now this comes from a very interesting side quest that we'll do for a character called Boom, and you can encounter this also in the Dead Zone. Now I fully recommend to go to this character once you are done with the previous one with Moog, because he is going to have a small connection with this character, and if you already finished that, it's going to make it easier to finish this as well. So if you reach this character right here, he is going to open up his side quest, and it's like super easy. All you have to do is to complete a couple of these, one of which is going to bring you to this house nearby that you have to set up on fire and then gather some resources out of it. Once you go back to the character and complete these 2 quests, you're going to be given the possibility to open up that container on the side of his cart. And yeah, this is one of my favorite weapons on the Sci Freak, especially early on in the game. You can also unlock kind of like a lotus sort of spinning attack that you do when you throw enemies up in the air. So if you ever saw Naruto, yeah, this is pretty much exactly like that, but you have to invest some points into all of this. And you also set enemies on fire, by the way, which makes them panic, so it's an extra perk on top. But this brings us to the final weapon on today's list for all two-hander enthusiasts, and this is going to be the 5.5 star ultimate pre-Murgle sword. So it looks something like this, by the way. You get it from a secret cave, and it's done through a side quest that you can randomly stumble upon in one of these areas right here. So it's actually not too far from the starting area. The only thing you have to keep in mind is that to reach the final point on that island is that you will need a level 2 upgrade at the bare minimum for your GOOGLIDE. So I already talked about how you can obtain a level 2 engine upgrade for this one. It's basically done through the rack box quest for the GOOGLIDE, and the second one is going to give you that level 2 engine upgrade. But the side quest that you have to complete is actually called the Lumen Tower, and it's going to be located right here on this side of the map, and all you have to do is to climb all the way at the top of this Lumen Tower and then adjust the light beacon to a nearby cave. It's actually super easy. You just have to follow some of the button prompts on the screen. Once you do that, you're going to notice that there's a new location that you discovered, which is going to be right across the lake or the river, whatever this is, and all you have to do is to head over there, climb at the top, and reach this secret cave on this side of the mountain. Now inside of it you might find one of these creatures that you have to defeat, so definitely do that. But from this point on, in the middle, you will notice that there's a sword protected by a shield. So what you have to do is to press these 3 separate stones in a particular sequence. So what you have to do is to start from the left side and then go to the one in the center and then finish off with the one on the right side, and this will open up this barrier and you're gonna be able to get the Primordial weapon right as it is. Looks really awesome, all set on fire by the way, and it's also a really great one to have on the Deadeye if you want to continue with a two-handed sword instead of playing with a double wield as I did in the early part of the video. But this is it with the best early legendary and ultimate weapons you can get. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.